In the very beginning, I think when I first started using Kyla, actually, Kyla used to teach my kids, and I loved her. Yeah, I just love her, period, just as a person. And then I saw something she posted that she had started doing some online tutoring. And so I reached out to her because Indy was having some trouble with math, my second oldest. And I had tried to help her. I'm okay at math. I was trying to explain how something is or how it would work or how it could be, and she was flailing. She was very upset. And we worked on it for a long time. It was like probably an hour I was trying to explain it to her, and she just could not receive anything I was saying. And so I had like this emergency moment. I text Kyla, like, please, will you help me really quick? And so Kyla got on, and I think within like 3 minutes, Indy completely understood it. I just knew that it took something that was like level 10 emergency to no problem at all. So obviously I saw such a positive impact so rapidly that I knew I would use her for other things. Okay, so my oldest, who is 17, he had tutoring on math. He was able to get a bunch of help on that, which really made the simplicity of it come back in, so it wasn't so complex anymore. And then my youngest, Lucas, he did phonics. Walker he got a lot of help with geography, and even he was talking to me about a couple nights ago how much that helped him. He's like, that was really good. Like, I really understand a lot about geography now. And he did some of that with Kyla. Indy did tons of math. Like, really did a lot of math with Kyla. English, she did with Kyla. Cal, my oldest, also did English. Handwriting was a big one. His handwriting was exceptional. It looked like mine. I really didn't believe it was his. I looked at it, I was like, is this yours? Did you write this? And he's like, yeah, I wrote that. I was like, oh, wow, I am really impressed, because he really understood what she was. I didn't know there's a technology to writing. Who knew? Well, Lucas was very cute because I never learned phonics at all. And I had no idea what this was. I mean, I really studied it and was trying to learn it. And Lucas was like, okay, hold on. Let me just teach it to you, Mom. Okay, here. And he got the flashcards out. He's drilling me. I'm not kidding you. And it was the greatest thing too, because he got to share his expertise, and he had really retained it, and he understood up to the point of where they had learned. So he was actually drilling me and catching me up and telling people, like, yeah, I had to teach my mom phonics today. So he went into school and he was like, oh, Mom, I know more than most of the kids in my class. Like, I knew all of these math facts, and I mean, at one point the teacher validated how much she was testing them on some math facts, and she validated that he knew so many. So Indy called me and she was like, Mom, what'd she say? She said, I'm an academic ninja. She was doing all this tutoring with Kyla. And she was like, no, seriously, I'm like an academic ninja now. Like, I know so much stuff. All they had been doing was they had done an assessment and figured out any areas where she was lacking, and they were just filling in. And she was so happy and feeling good and confident. So I'd say like the biggest thing is their confidence. They're very, when they work with me, unfortunately, they don't feel super like happy if they're having trouble. They're like, oh, like this is so hard, or that doesn't make sense. I mean, sometimes with Walker, I could help him through and he would spot it and do really well. But with Indy particularly, having someone not in her family, she was able to just really be able to understand, and Kyla's so experienced, and then her confidence level went up a lot. She was so convinced, because of all of her schooling, of her not doing great in her grades, she was convinced that there were smart people and she just wasn't one of them. One of the things she said is, she goes, oh, so I'm not dumb? Like, I just didn't know how to actually learn. I didn't know what you do to actually understand something. I just didn't have specific help that I needed for these particular areas of struggle. And I didn't know that I had missed things earlier. The biggest shifts I've seen in confidence, her awareness of learning was with her. Like it was very a profound change. So I think the biggest thing with all of them was confidence. My kids, like, sometimes they'd have to go to work with me. They could do tutoring at my work. Very convenient. I didn't have any trouble with, I have never experienced a negative effect of doing it online. I mean, unless the connection wasn't good, which would get handled really easily in the beginning, like any glitches that we had with the computer. But as far as their ability to learn, it was very simple. I would have thought that would be difficult, and maybe if someone wasn't as experienced as you guys are, it could be difficult, but my kids have never had anything negative whatsoever, not ever, to say about their tutoring. Yeah, I do all the time. I do all the time. Yeah. I was in the car, and Indy gets a little, before she would get a little like, Mom, why do you tell people I go to tutoring, Because I used it because I just wanted to make sure my kids are always doing well. And her friends, we were carpooling, and all of her friends, I think there was 3 girls in there, they're like, oh, really? Like, what does she do that on? I would really like that. And I explained what Kyla was doing with her and why it helped her. And they actually went home to talk to their parents about, could I get help with some tutoring? Like, Indy does tutoring with somebody. So obviously I talk about it a lot. And it was such a win. It was such a positive experience. It was convincing for them, even just in a very short little ride to their house, I guess the thing that's different about tutoring with success is it's not just like, yeah, I know how to do math, I can help you. Because I know how to do math and I can help someone, but I didn't know how to help the right way. They have a very specific way they help your kids, and they never make your children feel like their errors are bad or that they feel a little embarrassed. Not only are you guys very, very good at helping and getting the information used and understood, but you do it in a way that my kids felt so eager to work with you and comfortable when you were there and confident when they left. They felt so good and ready to go into it again.